Okay, we're back. So now, as I was saying, now doors are beginning to open up, and guess what? This new venue, after playing there for a while, they really liked me. It was owned by two sisters. Beautiful, beautiful people. They loved me. They believed the same thing that I'm hearing from these other people. I gave them my music, and this real estate agent gave them the music. Why are not things happening? But they were happening. They were happening. I look back on it now and I realize they were happening. So much to the point that I realized not so long ago, when I started reevaluating my life like I am now, I fell down into a puddle of tears and it ripped my heart out. Okay? You gotta hear the rest of my story. So things are happening pretty quickly, actually. And now these new owners, you know what they want to do? They want Tracilyn to be in a commercial. Me? In a commercial? Really? How's this going to work out? I got to share this. Is there any way I can get a copy of the video then? Because I knew right away, not everybody's going to be watching television. I had to make this available for the rest of my life. That I can show people, look. Only because of promotional purposes. I understand this. Every interview that I started getting, whether it was on the radio or in papers, all this stuff, I already knew that it's only going to be out there temporarily. Okay, this is not going to last forever. I already knew that, but guess what? My website is. I hope so. My website's going to be there forever. So I'm going to put it on my website. Everything that I possibly could get a hold of, all the way down to my barfly. Everything else is going to be on there. Letters of recommendation, you name it. I started realizing that I have to do everything possible to get my name out there. And the best place to go for that was off my website and then linking into these other, like MySpace and all these other places at that time. I started creating a street team. So now what I want to say here first is, I got into that commercial. Can you imagine what that done to people locally when they watched that on television? All of a sudden, we saw you in a commercial. A very small part. Very small part. But guess what? The venues I was getting in, I was so excited. I can't believe I'm hosting events for some of the people that used to live up on the hill. Some of the people who live in Hershey. Some of the most elite people in our local area. I was excited about this. Not because, can I be honest with you? Just because simply I felt my whole life since Lafayette Street. Maybe they'll treat me different. Maybe. Doubtfully, but maybe. Okay. So now people are starting to see me on television commercial and family and everything. Now I'm posting it on my website and I'm getting the word out there. People are seeing this so much. I was becoming tired. I don't know where I got it. Remember, I'm observing everyone around me. I'm not trying to copy. I'm observing. How can I make things better for myself? Street team. Makes sense to have a street team. I can't do this. How do you get people to volunteer? They have to believe in you strongly to be a street team. I don't want to run the street team. Really, I want freedom. I want more freedom to come out here, to go to a beach or something, get away, think a little bit. How do I create a street team now? What can I offer them? Well, I started talking about, private shows at their house. I figured out ways that they could earn points. Points. They would get their free email address with my website on it. For everything that they did, that they could verify that they did, they had to verify it. I learned this being a supervisor in many different places of employment. They had to be able to verify it. They would earn points. And with those points, they could make a choice. They could use up their points. I don't even know where I got this from. Other corporations. Understand, I am observing the world around me and I'm saying, I am going to do this. I'm going to have my tour bus someday and I'm going to be touring around even if I got to drive the thing by myself. Even if I got to load all my gear up onto that stage in Hershey Arena and put on a performance by myself, I'm going to do it. At least one time. So here's the thing, check this out. I started to create a street team. Did I prey on the people who believed in me the most? You better believe it. Will you guys help me, please? You don't have to do a whole lot. Just do a little bit. I'll come up in your area. I'll do shows, and this is what I have to offer. And let me tell you something. They were excited. T-shirts, and more CDs. When's you're going to get your new album? When are you going to get it? The pressure was on now. When are you getting new shirts? When are you going to get new merchandise? When are you going to get a new album out? When? You want to talk about pressure? Pressure. Because guess what? I want to do this. I want to get the merchandise out. I want to get new CDs out. I really do. This is becoming addicting and it's fun. It's what I've been wanting to do my whole life. I'm doing this all by myself, for myself. For the people. Okay, but I understand I'm going in the wrong direction. My image is going in the wrong direction. I'm unhappy about it. There were times I wanted to take you to a place above Moonshine Church. Remember, I'm soul searching deep, very deep. Now my last girlfriend, she's taking me to this mega church. And all of a sudden, I'm becoming this, I want to be honest, Christian boy. The old-fashioned Christian boy. Very religious. The way I dress with my khaki pants, button-down shirt. My hair is cut just perfect. You know. Let me tell you something. Can I be honest with you? It wasn't hard for me to get people to like me. I figured it out. Basically, can I tell you? If I change everything about myself, people will like me. That's the truth. Remove the nose ring, remove the earrings, cut your hair, natural hair color, please. Okay? Don't show so much flesh. My spirit died. I'm very dull. Let me put it this way. It's very acceptable image if you're a very dull presentation. I'm not saying that other people other ways. Well, Tracilyn, that's bull. That is bull because I get accepted no matter. And I have tattoos. I have body piercings all over my body. Maybe so for you. Maybe so for you. What a blessing. For me, it was a curse. Because I had to change everything about myself to be liked. And I gained favor. And I know because I lived it. How do I know that? Let me tell you one more time. I lived it. If I change everything about myself, everything I love, I'm going to be accepted. Yes. A person can only handle that so long. You're going to snap. You're going to snap one way or another. So, with that being said, I'm going to this church. I'm realizing, you know what, I'm weighing everything out. I can't keep doing this. I just can't keep. I've turned into a work. That's all I do is work. Doing everything by myself. I can't do this anymore. And the thing that's horrible for me, let me give you an example. I started connecting with people at my shows, inviting me all over the place. Now I can go to Ocean City, Maryland. Well, for anybody who watched the other videos, the girl I was dating at the time, she's the first one to take me to Ocean City, Maryland. That's when I realized I love the beach. I love Ocean City, Maryland, by the way. I love other beaches too. Gunnison Beach out in New Jersey is my favorite beach because it's a nude beach. It's a clothing optional beach. And I love that. I like to just take it all off, be myself, and have a good time, peacefully. So I started going to Ocean City, Maryland. Starting playing some pretty, let me tell you something, some of the best performers around were playing in Ocean City, Maryland. I got, now it's time I step up and prove myself. Do I have what it takes? If I can get these venues, let me tell you something, I worked really hard. Oh yes, and thank goodness to the person I met. She was a true blessing, her and her husband. They retired, they moved to Ocean City, Maryland, outside of Ocean City, Maryland. You can stay here anytime. We want to see you do it. Why aren't you? A lot of people that were meeting me is, why are you playing places like this when you could be playing places like that? Good point. Good point. This is everything I wanted. I wanted to get away from doing a lot of the things that I was doing. And let's face it, I found out now I love beaches. I see opportunities. I see big venues. Let me tell you something. These bigger venues, a lot of them were paying no different than anywhere else. But it was a whole different crowd. People were on vacation. People want to have fun. People want to hear Jimmy Buffett. A lot of Jimmy Buffett in Ocean City, Maryland. Oh, it was a horrible experience. So I got to play one of the biggest venues that are down there. And can I tell you something? I was so excited because at that time they were not doing solo acoustic. It was all bands. They might do them once in a while, but they weren't doing it regular. And his exact words were, if we're going to do this, because I just walked in with my guitar. I was so confident in myself. Let me tell you something. I walked up to anybody with my guitar, my presentation. Humbly, forget being humble. Proudly, I tell you, I got every show. Every show. Probably only like 0.0001 or 0.002 shows did I not get. I always got shows. But now, my determination was even more. So I showed up with my guitar right there on the scene. I don't have time to find out whether or not you're going to think about this for a while. I became a sales person. So, guy goes gets the manager because I wasn't leaving. He has to hear this. He has to hear my ideas, you know. I was very forceful with it, and guess what? I got what I wanted. He showed up. He said, so play me something. I knew everybody loves Jimmy Buffett. I played him a couple of Jimmy Buffett songs, just a couple notes. Wow, I think you're onto something here. This would work perfect over here. Why? Because it's Jimmy Buffett and everybody loves Jimmy Buffett. All right, so you walk up. Let me tell you something. If you want to do a beach show, you walk up to anybody who does the bookings in a venue that is by the beach, and you say you got what it takes and you show them. You just play Jimmy Buffett and it'll work. I promise you, it'll work. Be confident. Just let it out. Trust me, I didn't sound nothing like Jimmy Buffett. I did my own thing, country style. And his exact words were, I don't know about the whole country thing. That's what everybody always said to me. The logo, let me tell you something, that logo had to be dismissed. It was ruining me. I realized that. No, let me tell you something, I faced a lot of discrimination about that. The whole country, really? We don't do country here, only classic rock. Only Jimmy Buffett, Jim Croce. You know, all this old stuff. And it's great, listen, it's great. But can I tell you something? I don't want to spend the rest of my life singing everybody else's songs. That's what their job was to do. Not my job. My job is to share new music for my generation, whatever it is. Whether it's liked or not liked, that's what I'm called to do. Almighty God up there, that's what he's calling me to do. Let me tell you something, I got that show and it was a nightmare. I'll tell you why, because it paid amazing amount of money. And we booked for the whole summer. And it was several times a week. So I got to live basically down in Ocean City, Maryland. Can you imagine how happy I was? I can live in Ocean City, Maryland. I got my friend here. We'll work out something, you know. I got my own private room. I can hang out on the beach all the time. Now maybe I can move down here. I can move and live here by the beach. It'll be great. Great experience. Can I tell you something? It was a great experience. It was a magnificent experience. Except for one thing. The combination of the venue and myself playing by the water where everybody's drinking and having a good time because we're all on vacation, right? Including me. I'm on vacation. I'm just a part of it. They're not there for me. They're there to be a part of it. We're all a part of this great thing that's happening down there. We're making it happen together as a team. We got big bands playing that night later on in the back. I'm playing during the daylight, okay? We got reggae playing up top on a stage. We got heavy metal bands and rock bands playing whatever is popular on the radio at the time. Top 40, whatever. Let me tell you something, but everybody's coming down here to hear Jimmy Buffett. With me. Sorry, Jimmy Buffett. I probably should have gave him a percentage of it because I played a lot of his songs. And can I tell you this? People were going fanatic over it. I had people from the reggae bands, people from the other bands that were coming. Specifically, sometimes even earlier in the day, sometimes the day before. We got a show here tomorrow, and they would stand behind me. There was like a rope. It was roped off. I was like on a boardwalk kind of place. And let me tell you something. They were in awe. They're trying to figure out, how can you do this by yourself? Because there's hundreds of people there. It's all over, but they're everywhere. And they're just walking down. They're in the tubes for a little bit. Then they disappear. And sometimes there's only a handful of people there. You might be 20, 50 people, you know. But as the night went on, let me tell you, anybody who knows about this one venue that I played at, let me tell you something. It could be a hit or miss depending on the night of the week. But there are times that it is just an absolutely phenomenal place to go. At some point, with me promoting myself, getting my website out there, people were going back to their hotels, they're looking on the website, they're hearing, understand, all this stuff is going through their head, their conscience. Wow, this person got newspaper magazines or newspaper interviews, they got radio interviews, they're on a commercial. Wow, this is great. And we get to meet them face to face. And guess what? When I was on break, I was still working. I didn't take time for myself. Let me tell you something. I am there. When I get there, I take my equipment, because I'm not allowed to get there 2 hours early or an hour early, and then take a break. And any musician who knows this is challenging. You got to get your stuff in, and unfortunately I had to park pretty far away. Then I took all my equipment and lugged it in. I had a lot of equipment. Anybody who went to my shows for a solo acoustic, I had too much equipment. But I wanted to rock and roll, okay? So with that being said, you got to carry all of your equipment in. Okay, I got to wheel it in. You set it up, and guess what? In less than 10 or 15 minutes, you're ready to go. Oh, what a headache. I'm so tired. But I'm ready to go. I know I have the day off tomorrow on the beach. Later on that night, I can just hang out with everybody. I'm going to do this. I can do it. I can do it. I can do it. No, I can't. Because I'm going to tell you why. Because now I'm doing my set, and we had it in contract. In a contract. I do X amount of hours, whether it was 4 or 5 hours, and then I take so many breaks, you know, every whatever amount of time was agreed upon. Okay, agreed upon. Very simple contract. Very easy to understand. Notice, I said a couple breaks here and there. Okay. Guess what? If it was 10-minute break, if it was 15-minute, or if it was 20-minute break, can I tell you something right now? There was no break for this slave master. Not me. The guy I had the agreement with, and I'm going to tell you why. Remember I told you about how my friend taught me about communications and relationships with the people who are there? You better know how to treat people. You better learn how to be an ear. You better learn how to give a hug. Don't be afraid to give somebody a kiss. You know? No, seriously, that may sound funny to you. Give them a kiss on the cheek, a hug, lift up their spirits. Compliment them. You know, give them a CD. Let me tell you something, I didn't have to worry about giving CDs. Especially this one day. Because I would play 45 minutes, an hour, sometimes an hour and 15 minutes. I'd take my break. Usually the manager would come down, or whoever it was. It might not have been the manager, somebody to do with booking that I made the agreement with. And the bottom line is, he would come down, we'd talk about things. If it was a little bit slower day, we'd discuss things about that. Well, it'll get better, we just got to believe, you know, it'll work out. You don't have to worry, you're still getting paid. It was always great for me. He knew I came a long way to come and do this, right? So here's the thing, check this out. That day specifically, it started growing and growing, because on my break time, what I would do is I would go around and make jokes with people. Let me tell you, I was the master at entertaining people off the stage. So much that I actually, believe it or not, I looked forward to this. I realized, because now I'm there to hang out and have a good time. But I'm networking. I'm handing out business cards. I'm handing out CDs. A lot of people were buying them there. I didn't have to worry about giving them away anymore. People wanted to buy them. People were giving me 20s for a CD. Anybody who's a musician understands with the cost of music and recordings, and you're thinking future recordings, you're thinking business. You're thinking business. Somebody, instead of giving, it costs a couple dollars to make the CD, but let me tell you, there's a lot of work involved in it, and you got a lot of debt to pay back. Can I tell you something? When you're selling them for even $5, and somebody turns around and gives you 20, gives you a $100 bill, you're going to turn around. What are you going to do? You're going to praise that person. You're going to turn around. You're going to give them extra merchandise. You're going to give them your time and attention, hugs, whatever it is, because you're so grateful. I didn't do it for business. Let me tell you something. I didn't do that part for business. I was so thankful. I've never been so thankful. To me, my dream was coming true. I'm down here on the beach, I'm playing. Fortunately, it's not all my songs, but I started squeezing them in. I gotta be honest, at the end of my career, I started doing 60% of my songs because I couldn't take it anymore. 60% of my songs, whether you liked them or not, I'm gonna play them. But I would mix them in, blend them. It was a give-take situation. This one day, let me tell you something. I had a handful of discs. I got a handful of discs. I got shirts. People were gathering around me. I couldn't believe this. I got my magic marker. I'm signing people's body parts. I'm signing CDs, t-shirts. Can I tell you something? You got to understand this. This is what I wanted to do my whole life. This is great. And look at the view and look at the sun. Oh, this is so much different than what I've been doing for so long. Can I tell you, this did not last so long. You know why? Because that guy comes down. He's in hysterics. He's just like, what's going on? He's looking at the masses of people around. Because this day it was really busy. Might have been around a holiday or something like that. It's starting to become summer now. Because the spring was slower. Summer's starting to get really busy. We've got holidays. This is July 4th. I don't know what it is. But there is a mass of people down here. And they all want to be down here hearing acoustic music. So much that the band is standing behind me. Saying, how are you doing this? It's not me. People, they love this environment. They like the acoustic music that was being provided. They love Jimmy Buffett. Okay, so guess what? I'm taking full advantage of this. Sorry, Jimmy, I'm using you. What does it feel like to be used, Jimmy? I'm sorry. I didn't know what else to do. It was in demand. So I'm doing the very best I can with this, okay? And now this guy comes down. I am exhausted. I loaded all that equipment in. I set everything up. I'm playing the show. This might be the second set into it. And I'm just like, wow. Now, I can't even go to the bathroom. Even like now, I have to go to the bathroom. I can't. I'll tell you why. Because I don't want to turn my back on these people. They mean the world to me. They are part of my dream. And also as a business person, that'd be the stupidest thing to do, is to turn my shoulder on. And let me tell you something. I met a lot of musicians up to that time that were turning their shoulder on me, on other people. I observed this. You know, and I'm remembering what my friend taught me. You don't do that. Let me tell you something. You take your time off when you get home. As long as you're on that property, you're there. That was my attitude. I'm not saying that anybody, they're probably like, ooh, you don't know what you're saying. Well, that might be true. But let me tell you something. I wanted to give my heart, mind, and soul to these people. There's nothing else in the world I wanted. I got everything that I wanted right there. And now this, can I say it, jerk, comes down to me. And his way of thinking is, get back up on stage and sing. You got all these people, you're going to lose them. And my argument was, I'm not going to lose them. We're going to gain them. You know, I didn't say it exactly that way. But the truth of the matter is, anybody who's a business person, anybody who's human, okay, human, is going to understand that what these people need the most, and I tried explaining that to him, is my time and attention. They need to realize that I'm not just here to sing cover songs. Okay? I'm here to be their friend. I'm available. Are you having a hard time in life? By this time, I'm a Christian person. Okay? I'm all about God. What I've been taught about God, by the way. And I'm not going to let this guy tell me that, oh, the best thing that I could do for anybody is get up on that stage. Let me tell you something. That stage is a door. It's a door that opens up many opportunities. Not just for money, not just for business. There's people right out there, right now, right out there. They have struggles. Alcohol addictions, cigarette addiction, like me. You know, drug addictions. Who knows what else they're going through. They may be getting beat up right now, you know, in a family for some reason. Challenges, suicidal, all the things I've been dealing with my whole life. Okay? That stage is just to make myself available. It's an opportunity when I step off that stage. Right? I don't need to go into details. You get it. I got it. The jerk wasn't getting it. Okay? And he didn't see all the possibilities because they weren't in front of his eyes. Business people, venue owners, listen to my words. The best thing that any musician could do and should be required to do You want to take their break, you want to go out to your vehicle or whatever, go out to your vehicle or whatever. Because anybody who knows about your voice knows that talking is the hardest thing to do with your voice. It's hard on your voice versus singing. I didn't care about that. All I knew is there wasn't going to be some jerk telling me that I have to let go of all these people and my dream and connecting with relationships and making things better. Don't we want to make this happen? Well, guess what? You get all this music out there. You get all this memorabilia out there. And you show the people that they don't have to be a snoot. Well, we met an entertainer that wasn't a snooty-nosed person. They actually talked to us. They hugged me. And he even gave me a kiss. They signed my boob to make me laugh. I've seen other rock stars do this stuff, okay? Maybe I'm not a rock star, but the bottom line is this is what I want to do. And the thing is I love it. I love it. I love it. I would rather be doing that than singing Jimmy Buffett songs, okay? That's the truth. I would have rather been doing that than singing anybody else's songs, even my own songs. Felt good. This is what I love to do. I'm horrible with relationships, by the way, but I'm not horrible with this. People who would meet me at the shows fell in love with me. Understand, all these people who are on vacation, sporadically living all over the world, they're taking my music. Right, my music, unfortunately. My music, yes. Fortunately. Because they got to meet me. Now guess what? What happens then? They go back home, they tell people about the experience, and by the way, when you go to this venue, when you go to that venue, they're not talking about me, that venue, listen up venue owners. When you go to that venue, guess what? There is somebody that actually cares about the people who are there. And they want to be a part of the good time. And on their break, they're willing to invest time listening to me. Many of them wanted to buy me drinks and stuff, but it was my commitment that I do not drink at that venue while I'm under contract. Come back another time, maybe. See, I was all about making friends and stuff, and it wasn't about business to me. It was part of it. But can I tell you something? What happens? Anybody who's smart enough knows, especially with the internet, these people go home, they're excited. They got to meet somebody. Bands, listen up. They got to meet somebody. I remember when I met Bret Michaels. What did that do to me? I went around for the rest of my life. What do I tell people? Even to this day, I'm 40 years old. This was years ago. What do I tell people? I'll tell you what I tell people. I met Bret Michaels, and he was the first person I met in my whole entire life that looked like he looked better in person than he did in his magazine. Was it because he was being so nice to me? Do you think? Maybe. It was true, though. You know, his skin. I'll never forget that. One of the most important things that any musician could possibly do is invest some kind of quality time making themselves available. You know, everybody has their limits. Tracilyn, you don't understand. You don't understand. I tour around. I can't do this. No. I understand everybody has a different lifestyle. For me, I'm under contract. I'm there. I'm on my break. I can do it the way I want to. You do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. I want to make friends. Okay? I'm not good with relationships. Give me an opportunity. And most importantly, what about these people? Because I tell you what, they're going to go out there, they're going to tell their family and all their friends and everybody they know, they're going to spread it all over the internet, they're going to send a link, they're going to listen to this song, listen to this person, blah, 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 blah. Where do they play? I'll tell you where they play, at the best venue in Ocean City, Maryland. At the best location, down by the water. Oh, what a great combination. We love that venue. We don't go anywhere else. We go to that venue, and now we get to meet them. Well, let me tell you something. What do? Anybody who's smart enough knows. They bring more people, more people, more people, more people, more people, more people, more people. All of a sudden, we together as a team, venue and entertainer, have created an amazing place for people to gather, make friends, and celebrate life. It's a very spiritual thing, really. You know, because anybody who knows me knows that I always announce that my shows were about the celebration of life. That's what it's always about to me. And when he told me, if you don't get up on that stage, you're no longer welcome to come here and play, I told him after today, I don't want to come here and play. I don't want to work for a slave driver like you who don't get it. Okay? My excuse was I care more about my voice, preserving my voice, and I care more about these people. Okay? Just because he didn't see what was going on, all the endless possibilities. Let me tell you something, the whole energy level changed. He wasn't connected. He wasn't connected. He didn't get it. I got it because I'm telling you, the whole energy level changed. He didn't like, he was very unprofessional. Why did he come up to me during a time when people were gathered around me and all this stuff? Why didn't he couldn't wait? He couldn't wait because he was so worried that he was going to lose these people if I didn't get up there and sing. But he didn't realize that me investing quality time with everyone who was there as much as I could because I wanted to was what was keeping them there and drawing other people down to us. What is all the commotion? Let me tell you something. I'm an entertainer no matter where I am or what I'm doing. It's who I am. It's my spirit. I love connecting with people and lifting their spirits, making myself available at that time. I really did. And I know I have my time, even no matter how tired I was, I took it very serious. Yes, as a business. Absolutely, yes. Tracilyn, are you sure it wasn't about money? No, let me tell you something. It was about business. Business because I want to do this for the rest of my life. Did I say that? I have people helping me, connecting me, but guess what? I'm doing promotions. And that's the first thing that came to my mind. I'm up here, I'm playing the venue. I don't have people selling my merchandise. I don't have people creating my merchandise. I have my brother do the logo. Okay? I did not realize and recognize that the help I was getting was, I guess, looking back, was more than enough help that I needed. But I couldn't handle all the stress of doing everything else myself. Because let's face it, I had a home to stay in. For free. They loved me so much they believed in me. They had a home. I was meeting people in the real estate agent. They were getting me shows. I started to have a street team. Okay? But understand, I did not recognize that because I'm going through life saying nobody's helping me, just like I shouted. Nobody's helping me. Everybody was helping me. Everybody who met me loved me so much they wanted to help me. They kept saying, why aren't you, wherever? And I was like, can I say to you right now that there came a time in my life where I realized I was already there. It was happening. It was happening. Going in the wrong direction, but it was happening. So I didn't play at that venue anymore. The bottom line is he didn't get it. And I do not regret that, by the way. I was furious. I was furious about that. I didn't care that I had to be necessarily trying to get my merchandise out there and trying to do all this networking and stuff. Maybe in time I would have had a street team that would have been available and made themselves available and said, here, merchandise, and later on after the show, she'll make time for you. At that time it was he, we'll make time for you, but needs their breaks and this, that, and the other. No, I didn't. To me, I didn't. And that's why I was stressing out. I didn't need break, because on my break I was networking all the time. But understand, I would come up here, hours, days, with my dog. So what's right, wrong, or indifferent, I don't know. I forgive that whole situation, of course, because it wasn't necessarily him. I was exploding inside. I was exploding inside. Not because I couldn't handle all the stress, it's because I wasn't dealing with my whole life. And I was trying to force things to happen as quickly as possible. So where was that break gonna come? Is there a break ever? To me, it was a very lonely journey. And all I did was work, but yet it wasn't work. It's very confusing to even talk about because this is what I wanted my whole life. I'm finally starting to step into it, to be honest with you, because there was people flying in, the elite. the elites were flying in and they were hearing about me, and people were talking and people were saying, you know, there's going to be people coming here, they want to talk to you and stuff like this. I'm telling you, it was a heck of a performance. It was great for a solo acoustic act, okay? It was pretty great. And I was starting to finally, I was in a great location. And I knew it. But I had to pull out because I couldn't handle the stress of being bullied around and told what to do anymore. You're not going to tell me what's more important. I got to be, like, at that time, I'm an extremely intelligent person as far as to doing business and doing life right when it came down to a situation like this. And to me, it was more important for me to give my quality time to the people who wanted so bad to talk to me. And they wanted CDs. And let me tell you something, it's not too often that I went through up to that point where people wanted to buy merchandise. You know? And it was, understand, I say that, but it wasn't just that. I was hugging people, talking to them. This was great. I was the life of the party even off the stage. People were coming up behind the stage and talking to me. This was a high life. Wonderful. And when I was told what I should be doing on my break, especially considering I was abiding by everything that we agreed upon, I didn't care for that. Especially the embarrassment and humiliation in front of people. You know, you want to talk about an energy shift, a change? It wasn't just me, it was everybody. They saw it. In fact, so much that when I was packing up, people were helping me to carry my stuff out. They told me that guy was a real dick. You know? He was. So I learned right there and then, maybe I'm better off to do smaller venues. You know, no contract. They either pay or not, and then if they don't pay, I don't play anymore at that venue. You could do it a lot of different ways. But I knew one thing for sure, and I did learn later on in life. It takes a total different personality to be a booking agent and to be a manager, security. You know, all these different personalities. It's too much for me. I really want to sing my songs, work on my music, and entertain, and be out there playing with everybody. You know, if it's my break time and that's what I want to do, I want to do it. I look forward to those hugs. I look forward to getting invited to other parties and making friends and doing stuff, you know? I didn't have it my whole life. I'm guilty. I'm guilty because now I want it more than anything. So I was willing to walk away. And I'll tell you what, it bugged me for a long time. But I was doing other venues in that area. They heard the story. And they didn't have to worry. You know what ended up happening? They gave me more shows. More shows. Don't worry about it, Tracilyn, because some of the same people that go there will come here. They'll still get the opportunity to hear you. So I was still excited. Playing yacht clubs and stuff. You know, but that kind of blew my mind because that was a highlight in my life. But now it's out. Got that out of my system a little bit. And you can make out of it whatever you want. You know, the bottom line is, I look forward to being off the stage like my friend trained me to do. And it's not because of only business, but all of this stuff is going through my head. Opportunity to make friends, opportunities for all kinds of things. Opportunities for you. Let me tell you something. When I was self-employed as a musician, I used to open up my home to people that temporarily needed a place to stay. And let me tell you something, you'll find out later on in my testimony that I didn't boss them around. I invited them. You want to go for a walk? I invited them into my life. You know? And I was straightforward. If you're going to stay here, this is it. You know? Not much. I never asked for much. Respect. Respect. Don't take anything. And some people would stay with me for like 2 weeks. They'd take off. One of the girls invited home to my show, from a show in Fredericksburg. She was working in the military. I forget what they call it when it's just like a kind of a temporary thing, or on the weekends or once a month or something like that. Reserves, maybe. But you want to know something? If she sees this video or hears it, she knows who she is. Nobody else will. But you know, in the house over there, across from the Merchandiser in London on Cumberland Street. For starters, the American flag that's in front of the Merchandiser, that song I wrote about the American flag. One day I woke up, I looked out my window, and that's what the song kind of tells you. I was singing a song about the American flag across the street. I wrote that song there as well as Born to Be. So I'm starting to write a lot of songs. But you know, this girl really believed in me a lot, and she's seen my show, and she just wanted to share more time with me. So I invited her home. She ended up staying there for 2 or 3 weeks before, you know, it was time to go. And you want to know something? She was one of those people who kept saying, "Are you sure you're not a girl? Are you sure you're not a girl? Are you sure you're not a girl?" And she would do things to me very much like a guy does to a girl. And I gotta admit, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much because that's who I am. Listen, my voice may sound really ridiculous at times. I've realized I don't have to be consistent one way. And that's another thing. I went to extremes when I transitioned, and I'll talk about that. Whereas the world puts on us, we got to be one or the other. I'm all over the board, and I'm okay with it. It doesn't make me wrong, it makes me right. I get it. I get that my voice sometimes ain't going to sound just like it did yesterday. Or when I talk softer and I'm calm. You know, my voice is going to sound very different. So long and behold, I started getting more involved now with my last girlfriend, who also, by the way, kept saying, "Are you sure you're not a girl? Because girls don't live like this. Most girls, most guys live much differently." Not to have hurt any friends or guys or girls out there. Understand, this is what she's saying to me privately. Okay, now I'm outing it. She would say stuff like this, and we shared a lot of quality time. She had a very childlike spirit. My dog already started working on me I could play with him, rough him up. Now all of a sudden I had a playmate, and it didn't matter to him. He wanted me to be a child. Okay, now there's a girl in my life. She's taking me to get to know who Christ is. All right. I'm impressed with the music that I'm hearing at this church. The musicianship. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Me saying this. Never heard it at any other church. And a lot of rock bands, sorry. For the music industry who have not used these people, God is now using them. And He's doing something pretty remarkable, I might say. Reaching into my heart. Beating me down, by the way, too. Beating me down. Oh, what we learn through life's journey. With that being said, she had a childlike mentality. She used to show up at my shows. She showed up at the places in Ocean City too, and it was very sad for her to see. And she was one of the people that said, "You do not see what's right in front of you." That's because I'm too busy struggling with my transgendered issues, which is what I found out. Not issues, struggles. Thinking life was better at another time. Life gets better up there somewhere, but it's never going to happen, kind of thing. Or when is it going to happen? When? So much stuff I was dealing with mentally. There's a war going on inside my head, like Dave Mustaine says. There's war inside my head. Don't take a day off, I'll be dead. And it is so true. It's so true. I feel you, Dave. Oh, I love that album so much. I forget which album it was. I can't think of it right now, but that was my favorite song by Megadeth, by the way. I loved it. I love the drummer on that. Oh, jeez. Amazing musicianship there. Just very much like our praise and worship team, only they didn't sound the same. And can I tell you something? She'd share a lot of time. We'd go rollerblading, we'd go bike riding, we'd come out here and chase each other around or wrestle in the house. As far as intimacy, I'm just going to say it because nobody knows who she is, very few people. Can I just say that we had the energy together that I was doing things with her intimately that no other girls would do with me except for the first girl that I was with. And I just mean openly. Not, don't get the wrong idea and think just because I'm transgender that I don't mean that at all. I was always very open. You know, I wanted to explore my sexual avenues, very much so. To me, it's a very spiritual thing. And I'm all about enjoyment, you know? I want to enjoy our time together. So I won't go into details with that, I'm just saying. And she would wear some pretty amazing clothing sometimes. So to me, it was like She was one of them very naughty Christian girls, you know. She had this really nice presentation, but when we were together, especially at Ocean City, Maryland, the way she would dress, what a knockout. Very inspirational for me to get myself together, start losing weight and get in shape. You know, seriously. Seriously, that's the way it was. When our relationship ended, I realized that it was time for me to walk away. It is when she started discovering about, you know, me watching transsexual adult films. It's when I realized I'm about ready to hit rock bottom, everyone. Look out. This is going to be very, very ugly. I knew it. There was something inside me that knew it. Oh, this is going to be a horrible experience. I started getting involved within that mega church because I realized that career, I don't want that. What I really want to do is be used by God and lead people into worship. That's what I want to do. I want to do it all for God now. What a fool. What a fool. Let me tell you something. They gave me an opportunity, a great opportunity. They give everybody opportunities that they feel, you know, if they feel it on their heart, they're open up doors for possibilities to happen. So with that being said, age 30s, there was groups that were there, and can I tell you something? I got my opportunity to lead worship sometimes. I got to be honest with you. Even then, I knew it wasn't enough. I want to do it all the time. I want to make music all the time. I want to write songs for God all the time, you know? And I want to be playing all the time, and I want to travel. I want to go all over the place. But I guess this is going to work because for now, I'm deciding to let go of my music career. Not after the Ocean City. This was still years. I'm struggling with this. I can't do this anymore. Isn't there some kind of relief? Won't anything ever manifest? I just, you know, I got to let this go. And maybe I'll do some Super Bowl moments at another time. I know I'm running out of battery memory, and I promised myself I'd wrap this up today, this video. I may do bouncing ball moments up to there. Can I tell you that I got my opportunity to do that, and people willing to take their time to work with me? Because they knew I was going through something. Everybody in my life group, the girl I was dating at the time, everybody I knew said, you do not realize how much that you have right now. People knew that I was walking away from my career. They said, you're crazy. You worked way too hard. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Let me tell you something. I needed to do it. Absolutely. There was time to do it. And I to be honest with you, I wanted to be involved in something. I don't want to just be all by myself doing this stuff. Even though people were helping me, giving me places to live and interviews, all by myself, all the time. And I already know that to be a business person, listen, sorry world, it takes a whole nother personality. I want to be that youthful, childlike spirit. And let me tell you something about in the business world with that. They will step all over you. You got to be a dinosaur and be a monster to take care of yourself. That's just business world, period. Not just the music industry. That's any business. Oh, do I have a lot to share about that? Another time. But I was already getting it even though I didn't know it. I want to be that youthful person. I want to have fun. I've seen pictures of myself even when I look back now. I was still out of shape even though I was getting into shape. But I was aging very quickly. I was addicted to all kinds of things. Depressed. I just want to, pretty much as many people have noticed and found, I just want to be myself. Whatever that is. But I want to be able to take care of myself and do what I love to do as well. So I get involved with this. Other people were taking their time out, and can I tell you something? I was scared to get on the stage. I was dirty. I had all kinds of stuff. I'm actually starting to watch a lot of adult films, especially with transsexuals. I'm starting to explore a little bit more of my sexuality. I'm wearing different clothing in my house, girls' clothing and stuff. All this stuff is going on, and I'm addicted to different things, alcohol, cigarettes, and so I'm thinking I'm dirty, 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 dirty. I can't even stand on the stage the first time, but eventually you'll find out that I did stand on the stage, and it was through support of the people that were there. They loved me. At least they were showing some kind of love for me. But really, can I be honest with you? I was a rock and roller. I was a rock and roller. And singing praise and worship songs, seriously, even looking back now, a couple songs here and there, maybe. But especially knowing what I know now, never. But because I got so drawn in, which I want to talk about that again for another time, I got so drawn into this, it started pulling me away from everything. There's good, there's a lot of bad. Both. Okay, both. I want to share more of that with you. But when I came out as a transsexual lady, and I'll talk about that another day, here coming up soon, I knew in my heart, I thought it was God telling me that even in the deepest, darkest places in all the world, where nobody else could see me, He could see me. And even though I didn't know my own heart, He knew my heart. And why am I living life to please everybody else? Why am I not living a life to please Almighty God? Can I tell you something? I'll share the story of how this happened tomorrow. I want to tell you, I'm not leading worship anymore. Can't do it. Sorry, guys. God wants me to do it in a dress. And I don't want to do it in a dress at this time, okay? So what did I do? Run! Run, because nobody is going to understand this. Nobody. What would they think of me if I show up in a dress? Are we ready to worship God or what? I guarantee you, they would have shushed me out the back door as quickly as possible and put me in a straitjacket and took me to the mental institution. Alright, I don't know what they would have done, to be honest with you, but I know that would have probably more than likely been looked down upon. Are you trying to destroy our church, Tracilyn? Because you'll find out that there was a guy that went to that church that supposedly became gay as a rebellion, and then through his walk with God himself realized this and wasn't. But I can tell you something. I went to this class because I was struggling. Nobody knew. I'm struggling with this. Jeez, why is this so complicated? You're going to find out why it was so complicated. Because God is out there somewhere. And He gives you power. He does. He gives you power to get it all right. In His timing. It's always His timing. They don't talk about self-acceptance. They talk about accepting Jesus. Now, I go to this class and I find out what this guy is talking about, and I was only there for a little while. I'm a good observer, evaluator. Let me tell you something. After, privately, put him aside, I looked him in the eye and I said, if you were gay, you're always gay. I said, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but your body language says that you are. And you're kind of hiding from yourself. I don't know whatever happened to him, but I'll tell you what, as I went through my life journey, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings who may consider themselves to be gay, but I'll tell you right now, I learned a lot more, and it's not about being labeled as gay or lesbian or transsexual. It's an inner spirit that we tap into. Human behavior is the same in everyone, only most people are not going to stand up and tell you that they at least thought about it or had their experiences with it. Because if it's with a girl with a dildo on, or with a vibrator, or her fingers, or her tongue, or her nose, whatever the deal is, it's not gay. It's only gay if you're with the same sex, what the world calls the same sex. And this is a whole other topic that will have people be furious. Let me tell you one thing about Christianity. Separation. Everything about it is separation. Separation of your own inner desires, of what is really given, provided by the universe. okay? Give me time to talk. I just want your wheels turning right now. Because my wheels turned for a long time. I started driving truck again for the same trucking company I left off with. And I started listening to Eminem. Can I tell you, I was listening to Eminem again. Yep. And I'll tell you what, I tried to learn from my mistakes, and I told him I didn't want one with a sleeper on it. I wanted to be home on a regular basis. And with that, I'm going to pick up tomorrow because I'm running out of memory right now again. It's a very miserable time for me. I don't want to drive truck. I want to make music. I want to make my own music. But now I'm being brainwashed that this great God has a plan for my life, you see. He has a great plan for my life, and he'll work it out with me. I got a lot more to talk about, but I know I'm going to be rushed here, so. Can I just say, I started driving truck, and a miserable life. The stresses, the same sicknesses came on me again. Stress. Not liking my life, hating it. It was horrible. I'm not a truck driver, I'm a musician, I'm a singer. I'm an entertainer. I'm transgendered. And I need to start learning how to deal with that. And you're going to find out how I did. Great days, great days. Let me tell you something. The second I became myself, I began to lose everything. Those same people who liked me, praising me. Where are they now? Can you see them? I'll tell you where they are. Way out there somewhere. Because I lost my mind. Because I lost my mind. We're going to pick up there tomorrow. I'm looking forward to sharing from that time, approximately 2006. I'm going to share with you only 3 years. That time, I'm leaving Pennsylvania. I'm going to share the remainder years of my life out in Ohio. Before I go wherever I'm going, I have 2 stops to make. Because I want to share what happens when people turn their back on you. There's nowhere else to go. And God out there somewhere is nowhere to be found. And the best that anybody can say is, you're following the ways of the devil. Because I'll tell you right now, that's what my dad said. You're going to burn in hell. What turnip truck did you fall off of, Tracilyn? If I ever see you, I'm going to slam your head. Had it on my answering machine. I wish I would have kept it and recorded it and shared it with the world. This is the kind of people I had in my life, my whole life. They have no idea what I've been struggling with for up to 30-some years at that time. I didn't know. And they didn't do nothing about my childhood growing up, being bullied around, smacked around. Shall I go on? I guarantee you they're not going to be here now. Good. I needed to know the truth. I'd rather be myself than put on a fake image to gain people's approval. So I'm very grateful that I got to share all this up to this time. I want to see if I can do this right. Down here, I think, is where my website is. Am I doing it right finally? Tracilyn.com. Up here? I hope so. Should be a button to subscribe to my YouTube page. I only got one more subject to talk about, and that's transsexualism. Gonna do some bouncy ball moments for anything I may have forgot. After that, I have 2 stops. And then eventually I'm hoping to share my life 2009, 2015. Now to today. I'm very grateful I got all this out of my system. For anybody who listened, I hope there's something here that doesn't hurt or offend anyone, but is helpful, hopeful, not just to myself, if only to one person. But I hope it goes much farther than that. I really do, because there's a lot of people. They went through a lot worse than me. And it's because we've been programmed by people with higher intelligence, using the media, the entertainment industry, religious leaders. Lies, lies, lies to control and manipulate everyone. Politicians, all of it. All of it is to just bring people in. We fight amongst ourselves over really foolish stuff. Okay? Meanwhile, they're setting us up for horror. We miss out on our life journey of maximizing it. I really do. You have a mega church like LCBC telling you, well, we're here to share the message of Jesus Christ, but they don't tell you all the other stuff that they're doing, which sucks you in, brainwashes you, it becomes addicting, you come into a trance, really. Now you're brainwashing yourselves, and you are fully dependent on something that does not even exist. I got a lot to share about that. I'm just giving a little bit here and there. Okay? I love you very much. That's why I'm sharing this. And I know there's a lot of people who are faithful followers of Christianity and all these religions and stuff. Okay. I don't want to take anybody away. Maybe this YouTube video is not for you, but maybe it's for a person who is like me, who ended up losing everything in their life, depending on a God that was out there. And you just wait till I share my story about that. You learn your lesson about it after a while. The realities and all. Love you. I don't know if I shared in some other videos that I had. Pretty sure I did. The time that I gave up my dog, found him a home. It's about 6 months or so afterwards, when I was sleeping in Ohio, I had a dream. It came to me in a dream. What I didn't say is I used to tease him all the time and tell him I always wondered what he would sound like if he could speak to me. Did you ever think that with your animals? What would their voice sound like? Would he sing? Would he be very comic in his tonal qualities as how he would communicate with me? He seemed to be that way. He had to have a sense of humor. In my dream, when he came to me, he talked to me. And understand, I used to always bug him about that when we would be driving out to the mountains or hanging together. What would your voice sound like? How would you sound? What would you say to me? What would you say to Mommy? What would you say? I always wanted to know. So when he came to me in my dream and he told me that he was okay, I got my dream. In two. In one. So I got peace. So he told me he was okay, he was happy. He was in a better place. And he had friends. Just a couple, I don't know, I can't remember who it was. But I know he had to get going, he didn't have much time to talk. He had a good sense of humor. I was sitting here where I first started this video, and it hit me. The place in the dream was this. For anybody who knows, when I was in Ohio before I came back, I took some pictures of me for the Nebraska album in a grass field that reminded me of this place. It reminded me of my dream. In that dream, he was by the water, running very carefree. I have one more story to share about the music industry. I don't know if I have enough memory here or not. Here we go. At some point, somehow I came across a Nashville songwriter's website. I found out this guy would do counseling. You get to talk to him about things in the music business, whatever you want to talk to him about, you know. He was a local publisher outside of Philadelphia. So I made a phone call. I set up an appointment to go see him. To remember, he seemed like, I don't know, he was a good reader of personalities, I guess. I knew right in the beginning that because I didn't need directions to get there, he was kind of already feeling my personality. I guess a lot of people are very friendly and they take directions from people, but I told him I'll find my way. When I got there, I got invited into his office and sat down beside another gentleman, and we began to talk, listen to some of the music and stuff. I don't want to go into a whole lot of detail because that conversation is kind of private. I remember finding out that the person that was sitting beside me was somebody that I used to admire on MTV a lot. He reminded me a lot of Tom Kiefer, in all honesty. I went to a few of the seminars. During one of the seminars that I went to, that I attended to, I started getting involved with other guys and girls from around their networking. Going to different classes and stuff. I remember one seminar when I was sitting in with a group and the songwriter was speaking. I don't remember exactly what it was that he said, but it had something to do with the way songs were written. I mean, that's what we were there for. I remember I had a puzzled look on my face, and he noticed it right away. I could feel his energy, like he had compassion towards me ever since I met him. You know, like he had a heart for me, you know, with what I was going through. Much like the music store owner that I was telling you about earlier. Anyway, make a story short here. When I told him that I hear songs, they enter in my head. I can't separate sounds. I hear the whole song. He told me I was a genius. He said, "That's because you're a genius." And he pointed his finger. He was a comedy man, you know, he was funny. You know what that felt like? After sharing my whole entire story with you, remember how I told you I felt when my teachers would look over my shoulder, or the music teacher said something in front of the whole class? That took me back to that day. We had a couple conversations shortly after that. Briefly, you know. in passing. I'd stop by for the other seminars, and all I can say is that I felt very strongly that he believed in me. He said, someday I'm going to be up behind you, and we'll lay that CD down in front of you. That's stuck in my head forever. Still till now. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm not really in the mood to talk right now. I'm getting ready to head out, go grab a bite to eat. Peace.